Most people think the smartest person in the room talks the most. This idea sounds logical, but it is actually a big mistake. The most powerful person is often the quiet one. The person who listens carefully understands everything. They notice emotions, ideas, and hidden meanings. Today, you will learn the psychological secret of active listening. This simple skill can transform your conversations and relationships. Chapter 1. The Noise of Modern Conversations. Modern conversations are often full of noise. People talk constantly, but very few people truly listen. Think about a normal conversation today. Two friends meet for coffee. One person begins to share a story. They say, "Something strange happened at work today." But before they finish the sentence, something happens. The other person interrupts. They say, "Oh yes, my work is also very stressful." The story suddenly changes direction. Now the conversation focuses on the second person. The first speaker becomes quiet. This situation is very common. It happens in offices. It happens at family dinners. It happens between friends. Everyone wants to speak. Everyone wants attention. But very few people want to listen. Many people believe talking shows intelligence. They think quick answers prove confidence. They believe silence makes them look weak. So they rush to fill every quiet moment with words. But something important disappears in this process. Understanding disappears. A real conversation is not a competition. It is not about who speaks more. A real conversation is about connection. Connection grows when two people understand each other. And understanding begins with listening. Listening is different from hearing. Hearing happens automatically. Your ears receive sounds without effort. But listening requires attention. Listening requires patience. Listening requires respect. When someone speaks, they share more than words. They share ideas. They share emotions. They share small pieces of their life. But if we interrupt them, something important breaks. Trust begins to weaken. Imagine telling someone an important story. You explain a problem you faced. You describe your feelings. But the listener checks their phone, or they interrupt with their own story. How would you feel? Most people feel ignored. They feel their words are not important. Slowly, they stop sharing their thoughts. This is the hidden danger of noisy conversations. When everyone talks, nobody truly connects. The world becomes louder, but relationships become weaker. Yet there's a simple solution. It begins with one quiet skill: the skill of listening. Chapter 2. Why we interrupt. Interrupting is a very common habit. Many people interrupt without realizing it. They believe they are having a normal conversation, but their mind is not truly listening. Instead, their mind prepares the next sentence. Why does this happen? The answer often involves the ego. Ego means a strong sense of self-importance. When ego controls our behavior, we want attention. We want others to see our intelligence. We want to show that we have good ideas. Imagine a small group discussion. One person begins sharing a story. They say, "Yesterday, I had a difficult conversation with my manager." Before they finish explaining, another person jumps in. "Oh, yes, I had an even worse situation last week." Now, the conversation moves away from the first speaker. The focus shifts to the second person. This pattern repeats many times in daily life. People do not always interrupt because they are rude. Sometimes they interrupt because they feel excited. They suddenly remember their own experience. Their brain sends a quick message. Say it now, or you will forget. So they quickly jump into the conversation. But this small action has a hidden effect. Interrupting breaks the flow of trust. When someone shares a story, they become slightly vulnerable. Vulnerable means emotionally open. They reveal personal thoughts or feelings. When we interrupt, we send a quiet signal. The signal says, "My thoughts are more important than yours." Even if we do not mean this message, people feel it. After many interruptions, people become careful. They share less information. They shorten their stories. Sometimes they stop speaking completely. The conversation becomes shallow. But there is another hidden problem. Interrupting also weakens our own understanding. When we prepare our response too early, we miss details. We hear the first few sentences, but we ignore the deeper meaning. Imagine reading only half a book. You would never understand the full story. The same thing happens in conversations. When we interrupt, we stop learning. We stop discovering new ideas. Great listeners understand this danger. They resist the urge to jump into the conversation. Instead, they stay curious. They let the other person finish their thoughts. This simple habit changes everything. It opens the door to deeper conversations. And deeper conversations create stronger relationships. Chapter 3. The Magic of Pausing. There is a small moment in every conversation. Most people ignore this moment, but great listeners understand its power. This moment is the pause. A pause is a short moment of silence. It happens when someone finishes speaking. Many people feel uncomfortable during silence. Their mind quickly reacts. They think, "I should say something now." So they speak immediately. They rush to fill the silence with words. But silence has a hidden strength. Silence creates space for understanding. When someone finishes talking, try a simple experiment. Do not speak right away. Wait for 1 or 2 seconds. This small pause changes the feeling of the conversation. It shows the speaker that you are thinking. It shows that their words matter. Most people rarely experience this type of attention. So when it happens, they notice it immediately. They feel respected. They feel heard. The pause also helps your brain. Your mind needs time to process information. Process means to think about something carefully. When we pause, our brain organizes the message. We understand the meaning more clearly. Without a pause, conversations become fast and chaotic. People react quickly, but they rarely understand deeply. Think about a calm lake. When the water is still, you can see the bottom clearly. But when the water moves quickly, everything becomes blurry. Conversations work in a similar way. Silence calms a conversation. Silence allows ideas to become clear. Many successful leaders use this technique. When someone finishes speaking, they pause. They take a slow breath. Then they respond calmly. This habit creates a powerful presence. Presence means a strong and calm personal energy. People feel comfortable speaking with someone like this. They feel safe sharing their thoughts. The pause also creates curiosity. When you remain silent for a moment, the speaker often continues. They add more details. They explain deeper feelings. This is something many people never hear, because most conversations move too fast. But great listeners slow the conversation down. They understand that silence is not empty. Silence is full of meaning. It shows patience. It shows respect. And it invites people to share more of their story. Chapter 4, Body Language That Listens. Listening does not happen only in the ears. Your body also listens. Even when you say nothing, your body sends messages. These messages are called body language. Body language is the way your face and body communicate. Many people forget about this part of communication. They believe listening is only about words. But people notice your body before they notice your answers. Imagine telling someone an important story. While you speak, they look at their phone. Their eyes move around the room. Their body faces the door. Even if they say nothing, you feel something is wrong. You feel they are not truly listening. Now imagine a different situation. You tell the same story to another person. They look at you calmly. They nod slowly while you speak. Their body faces you. They remain still and attentive. Suddenly the conversation feels very different. You feel respected. You feel comfortable sharing more details. This is the power of listening body language. One important signal is eye contact. Eye contact shows attention. It tells the speaker that their words matter. But eye contact should feel natural. You do not need to stare constantly. A relaxed and gentle gaze is enough. Another signal is nodding. A small nod is a simple action, but it has a strong effect. It tells the speaker, "I understand." It encourages them to continue their story. Posture also plays an important role. Posture means the way you hold your body. When you lean slightly forward, you show curiosity. When your body faces a speaker, you show focus. But when your arms are closed and your body turns away, the message changes. It may look like you are bored, or it may look like you want the conversation to end. Small signals create big impressions. Great listeners understand this. They use their body to create a safe space. Their posture is calm. Their eyes are attentive. Their gestures are simple and supportive. These signals help the speaker relax. When people feel relaxed, they speak more honestly. They share deeper thoughts and emotions. And this is where true conversations begin. Because listening is not only about hearing words. It is about creating a space where another person feels understood. Chapter 5, Asking the Right Questions. Good listeners do more than stay silent. They also ask thoughtful questions. Questions show curiosity. Curiosity means a strong desire to understand something. When someone feels your curiosity, they feel valued. They believe their story matters. But not all questions are helpful. Some questions stop the conversation. For example, imagine someone tells you about a trip. You ask, "Did you like the trip?" This question is very simple. The answer may only be yes or no. The conversation quickly ends. Better listeners ask open questions. Open questions invite longer answers. They encourage people to share more details. For example, you could ask, "What was the most interesting moment of your trip?" Now the speaker begins to remember experiences. They describe places, people, and feelings. The conversation becomes richer. Another useful technique is reflection. Reflection means repeating an important idea in your own words. This shows that you understand the message. Imagine someone says, "I felt nervous during my first presentation." You might respond, "So the presentation made you feel very nervous?" This small sentence has a powerful effect. It tells the speaker you were listening carefully. It also gives them a chance to explain more. They may say, "Yes, I was nervous because many people were watching." Now the conversation becomes deeper. Good questions act like gentle guides. They help the conversation move forward. But great listeners also remember something important. They do not ask questions too quickly. They allow space between questions. This space gives the speaker time to think. It allows the conversation to grow naturally. Think of a conversation like planting a small seed. A seed needs time and space to grow. If you rush the process, the plant cannot develop. Questions work in the same way. When they are calm and thoughtful, they help ideas grow. When they are rushed, they stop the flow. The best listeners understand this balance. They combine silence with thoughtful questions. This simple habit turns ordinary conversations into meaningful connections. Chapter 6. Active Listening Conversation Scripts. Understanding active listening is helpful, but practicing it is even more important. Many people ask a simple question: what should I say when someone talks to me? The answer is easier than most people expect. You do not need complicated words. You only need simple responses that show attention. Let's explore a few examples. These short scripts can guide real conversations. Example 1. Listening to a problem speaker. "I feel very stressed at work this week." Listener: that sounds difficult. What is causing the stress? The listener does something important here. They do not interrupt with their own story. Instead, they invite the speaker to continue. Speaker: "My manager gave me a big project." Listener: "I see. That must feel like a lot of pressure." Pressure means a strong feeling of responsibility. The listener shows empathy. Empathy means understanding another person's feelings. The conversation now feels supportive. Example 2. Listening to good news speaker. "I finally finished my training course." Listener: that is great news. How do you feel about it? This question invites emotion. Speaker: "I feel proud and relieved." Listener: you worked very hard for that success. Notice something important. The listener celebrates the speaker's effort. This builds positive connection. Example 3. Listening to a personal story speaker. "I moved to a new city last year." Listener: that is a big change. What was the hardest part? The question shows curiosity. Speaker: "The hardest part was leaving my friends." Listener: yes, leaving familiar people can feel very lonely. Lonely means feeling isolated or without close company. Again, the listener reflects the emotion. This makes the speaker feel understood. These scripts follow a simple pattern. First, acknowledge the speaker's words. Second, ask a gentle question. Third, reflect the emotion or idea. This pattern creates trust. It also keeps the conversation balanced. You are not dominating conversation, but you are still actively participating. Active listening does not mean complete silence. It means guiding the conversation with care. Simple phrases can help. For example, "That sounds interesting. Can you tell me more about that? How did that make you feel?" These small sentences invite deeper conversation. They show respect. They show patience. And they show real interest in another person's experience. Chapter 7. Building Deep Trust. Active listening does more than improve conversations. It builds something much deeper. It builds trust. Trust grows slowly between people. It grows through many small moments. One of the most powerful moments is when someone feels truly heard. When people speak, they reveal small parts of themselves. They share ideas. They share worries. They share hopes and dreams. These moments require courage. Courage means the strength to be open and honest. But when someone listens carefully, something important happens. The speaker feels safe. Safety encourages honesty. Honesty creates stronger relationships. This is why great listeners often become trusted friends. People naturally feel comfortable around them. They know their words will be respected. In many ways, listening is a quiet form of leadership. Leaders who listen understand their teams better. They notice problems early. They understand emotions before conflicts appear. Because of this, people respect them more. Listening also strengthens friendships. Think about the friends you trust the most. They are probably good listeners. They allow you to share your thoughts freely. They do not rush your story. They do not judge your feelings. They simply listen with patience and care. This patience creates strong emotional connections. Connection means a feeling of closeness between people. In a noisy world, this skill becomes even more valuable. Many people compete for attention. They speak louder. They speak faster. They try to dominate every conversation. But the quiet listener stands out. Their calm presence creates balance. Their attention invites deeper communication. People feel relaxed around them. They feel understood. And when people feel understood, trust grows naturally. The power of listening is simple. You do not need special talent. You do not need complex words. You only need patience and curiosity. When someone speaks, give them your full attention. Let them finish their thoughts. Allow silence to exist for a moment. Then respond with kindness and curiosity. These small habits change conversations. Over time, they also change relationships. And strong relationships are one of the greatest sources of happiness in life. So remember this simple idea. Talking can impress people for a moment, but listening can earn their trust for a lifetime. Thank you for listening to this English story. Now think about your own conversations today. Did you truly listen to the other person? Or were you waiting for your turn to speak? Active listening is a simple skill, but it can change your relationships and your life. Please leave a comment below. What is one listening habit you want to improve? Your answer may help someone else become a better listener. And if you enjoy learning English through stories, please subscribe, like, and share this video. See you in the next story.